Senator, thank you so much for sitting down with
Thank
AARP
you.
New Hampshire and talking Social Security.
Absolutely.
Share with us your plan for keeping the program solvent for the next 75 years.
Let me tell you why you should keep it solvent for the next 75 years. Half of today's seniors would be in poverty without a Social Security check. So it's that important. Again, half of today's seniors would be in poverty without a Social Security check. Young people, why is this important to you? Many of you will outlive your 401k plans. Defined benefit plans in the private sector are almost extinct. The only guaranteed income that you will have in your retirement years will be Social Security. That's why I want to save it. To young people, you're going to need it. To today's seniors, you depend on it. I'm going to save it. How do you do it? We live longer, and there are fewer workers. In 1950, there were 16 people for every Social Security recipient working. Today, there's 3 workers. In 20 years, there'll be 2. There's not enough people paying FICA taxes to keep the trust fund afloat. We live a lot longer than we did in 1935. So what would I ask? Younger people to work a couple years longer. Like Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan, we need to adjust the age of retirement one more time, give people plenty of notice. Near-term retirees won't be affected. When it comes to means testing, I am 60 years old. I'm not married. I don't have any kids. I'm doing really well. I would give up some of my benefits and take a smaller COLA to save a system worth saving. So the 2 things I propose is that we have longevity indexing, asking younger people to work a little bit longer, and that we ask people in my income level to take a little bit less to make sure the trust fund can outlast the retirement of the baby boomers. What puts the fund at risk is 80 million people like me, born from 1946 to 64, are going to retire en masse. We're going to want our Social Security checks, and we just don't have enough workers. But if we'll adjust the age of retirement and means test benefits, we can save Social Security, and I intend to do that.
With the COLA, the cost of living adjustment, is that something that people can still count on down the line? It sounds like there might be a couple of different levels based on means. Is that part of it?
Okay, near-term retirees, you're not going to have your benefits affected. If you're 55 or older, I will not affect your basic benefit. But if you make over $250,000 a year, even if you're on Social Security today, I'll ask you to take a smaller COLA. Why? We just don't have enough money in the trust fund. So let's ask people who can give to give. When I was 21, my mom died. When I was 22, my dad died. My sister was 13, who's here with me today. If it wasn't for Social Security survivor benefits, we wouldn't have made it. We moved in with an aunt and uncle who never made over $25,000 in their life, working in the textile plants that are all now closed. My mom had Hodgkin's disease. We got wiped out financially because we're underinsured. That Social Security check coming to my sister meant the world to my family. There's nothing I won't do to save Social Security. I'm a Republican. I'm willing to put some revenue on the table to help save Social Security, but here's what you can't do. You can't cut your way out of this mess. You can't tax your way out of this mess. You got to structurally change the system in 2 ways. Ask younger people to work a little bit longer, give them plenty of time to adjust. Ask people in my income level to take a little bit less. And if you do those 2 things, we'll save Social Security.
Senator, many fellow Republicans talk about doing something to privatize or to empower people to take this money and
Not
do it
going to
themselves.
happen. I supported that at one time. It's a carve-out account. President Bush proposed it, that you could take 2% of your FICA taxes and put it in an account that you own that could never be rated by the government. I don't believe there's political support for that idea. If you want to increase retirement opportunities, fine, but it has to be an add-on to Social Security. I don't believe you can get Democratic support, enough support, to take some of the FICA tax stream and put it into a private account. Most people look at Social Security as a safety net, not as an investment program.
As far as getting it done, let's fast forward to President Graham. You've been
Right.
sworn in.
Yeah.
We're in 2017
Yeah.
at this point. Where does this fall on your priority scale for the agenda in the opening days and months?
Okay, say a prayer. Thank
Okay.
God I made it. Then call Democratic leadership, Republican leadership, and say, I want to deal with the unfunded liabilities of Medicare and Social Security, which drive the national debt. The baby boomers are going to retire en masse. Let's get ahead of this problem. Let's let younger people, what they're going to have to do to save the system. People, I make $175,000. Let's tell people my income level that they got to give up some in terms of Social Security benefits. Not all, but some. Just a couple $100 probably. And pay a little more into Medicare. I'd make a speech about this. The first thing I would do is call the chairman of the Joint Chiefs and say, what do you need that you don't have to defend this nation? The second thing I'd do is I'd call congressional leadership together and say, we're going to meet and we're going to lock the door. And nobody's leaving until we save Social Security. I think people would buy into what I'm selling because it makes so much sense. And it's a program worth saving. It's worth a Republican sacrificing in terms of ideology. It's worth a Democrat giving some to save a program that is essential to most seniors today.
Senator Graham, we really appreciate you sitting down with
Thank
AARP
you.
New Hampshire today.
Vote for me, I'll save Social Security because I have been on the receiving end of it. I know why it exists.
Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. It's a pleasure to meet you face to
My
face.
pleasure.